Hello students, today in this video we are going to start reported speech, which is also known as direct and indirect speech. So let's talk about direct speech and indirect speech first, and then we will slowly proceed towards the rules of changing direct speech into indirect speech. So direct speech, it is one of the way of reporting what someone had said. It is the repeat to their actual words. It is the repeat to their actual words, right? For example, she said, I want to eat apples. So whatever she said, that you have kept in the commas. So this is the format of the direct speech. Now here we have two things. One part of the sentence is outside the commas and one is inside the commas. So this we have to know that what this is called. So this part which is having the she said, means which is outside the commas, that is known as reporting verb. What is this? This is reporting verb. And the second part which is inside the commas, the exact dialogue, the quotation, that is what? That is reported speech. So this we should know. Clear? So let's come to indirect speech now. This is another way of reporting what someone has said is without quoting the exact words. What I am saying, without quoting the exact word, like whatever she said, I want to eat apple, that is they are the exact words what she said, right? But here I am saying that without quoting the exact words, when you speak something, when you tell someone's whatever the message he or she has conveyed to you, without changing, without quoting the exact word of that, so that is known indirect speech. See how? This is the example I have written. The same example I have taken. She said, I want to eat apples. That is of direct speech. The same thing which when I will write in indirect speech, that will become, she said that she did not want to eat apple. Right? So she did not want apple. Actually, this is not exactly the change of this. Clear? But this is another way of writing. This is the way how we have to write down the indirect speech. If we want to change the speech of this sentence, means if we want to change this direct speech into indirect speech, the answer would be, she said that she wanted to eat apples, right? But here this sentence is different, which is saying she said that she did not want to eat apple or anything, because here apples have not done. Clear? So this is all about direct speech and indirect speech. Next, now learn what are the rules of changing direct speech into indirect speech. A few things you have to keep in mind while changing this direct speech into indirect speech are: in indirect speech, no inverted commas are used. See here, we have used commas also and inverted commas also. But here in the indirect speech, this sentence I am talking about, this one, she said that she did not want to eat. In this sentence, I have not used any comma or inverted commas, right? So this is the first rule, you have to avoid that. Second thing is, the conjunctions that, if, whether, etc. are generally used after reporting verb. So what is the reporting verb? This she said, right? So she said, after this generally we have to use these conjunctions that, if, whether, etc. according to the nature of the sentence, that whether it is simple sentence, it is a question tag, or it is an imperative sentence, right? So according to that you have to do. In simple way, you have to say that the commas you have to convert with that, if or whether, right? But the conjunctions that, if or whether, you have to use generally after the reporting verb in indirect speech. Third one is, the tense of the reporting verb never changes. I am talking about this first part. The tense never changes. Clear? Because here we have read that the tense changes of reported speech, right? But in reported verb, tense does not change. Next one is the reporting verb changes according to sense. It is not there is no change according to tense, but according to sense there is a change. For example, if they have given she said to her, so that said to changes into what? Told, right? Or if there is a question, so we will do that asked. If someone is giving some advice, so we used to write advised, but tense that do not change here. Clear? So that is according to sense we have to change, but according to tense we cannot change the reported verb. So you have to keep these rules in mind. Next are the rules of changing pronouns. When in the sentence pronouns are given, so what and how you have to change, let's see. The first person pronouns I, me, my, we, us, are. In the reported speech which is in the commas, change according to the subject of the reported verb which is outside the commas, right? Let's see. He said I like the books. So here I is what? First person pronoun, right? That changes according to the subject of reporting verb. So what is the subject of reporting verb? He, right? So here I have to change this he with this. Clear? So he said that he liked the books, right? He said that he liked the books. Please see once again, the first person pronouns I, me, my, we, us, are in the reported speech, means within the commas, that change according to the subject of the reported verb, whatever is outside the comma. Like here I am talking about this he. So this I will change according to this subject. Clear? Next one is the pronouns of the second person, you, your, yourself, in the reported speech. Once again I am talking about the part of the sentence which is inside the commas, right? So that changes according to the object of the reported verb. Here you have to keep in mind the object of the reporting verb you have to see, and the upper one you have changed according to the subject of the reporting verb, right? When there is second person. So see the example, he said to me, commas, do you like the books? So here the subject here is which one? You. Clear? That is second person, subject of second person. So that we have to change according to the object of the reporting verb. And what is the object here? Object is which one? Object is me. Clear? So this is object of the first person of this reported verb here. So this subject of reporting speech we have to change according to this me. Clear? So the answer would be he asked me, said to changes into asked in interrogative sentence. So he asked me if, and that changes into if when the sentence is interrogative and starting with the auxiliary verbs. That we will do in detail afterwards, but this is a general rule, right? So he asked me if I. Now what is the object of this reported verb? That is me. So me I have to change into I. Do changes into second verb, liked the book. Clear? That's quite easy, only the rules you have to keep in mind and you have to learn this. Next one, the third rule we have to see, the pronouns of third person. The pronouns of third person do not change. So see the example, he said to me, he likes the book. What you have noticed here, this is what? Pronoun of third person, he, she, it. Okay, so what happened here? This do not change, that will remain same. He told me that he likes changes into past tense. So that is liked the book. So this is all about the rules that how to change the pronouns, which is very important, and students generally do mistake here in changing the pronouns, and that will deduct half of the marks of your question. So please take a screenshot of all these rules, note down in your notebook, and please try to revise that frequently, right? Once again I am saying the first person changes into according to the subject of the reporting verb. The second person, the pronoun of the second person, that changes in the reported speech, right? That changes according to the object of reporting verb, that is like this second sentence. This is object and this is subject, so according to this it is changed. Now next see how to change the words expressing the nearness and the time etc. from the direct speech to indirect speech. This changes into that. If this word is given in direct speech, that changes into that. These changes into those. Here changes into there. Ago, before. Thus, so. Hither, thither. Today, that day. Tomorrow, the next day. Yesterday, the previous day. Last night, the previous night. Hereby, thereby. Just, now. Can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would. This is very important point, and you have to take the screenshot of this and note down in your notebooks, right? Next we have to see how to change the tense. Clear? So how to change the tense? Simple present tense means if the in the direct speech, if verb first is given or verb first plus s or es is given, that changes into verb second, means simple present tense changes into simple past, right? Next one is present progressive. Present progressive means present continuous, right? So there the verbs are, helping verbs are is, am, are. So that changes into past progressive, that is was and were. Directly you have to learn is, am, are changes into was, were. Next is present perfect. Present perfect, the structure of present perfect is has or have plus verb third, but that changes into indirect speech into past perfect, and the form the structure would be had plus verb third. Next is simple past. Simple past is having verb second with that, and that changes into past perfect, that is had plus verb third, means verb second changes into had plus verb third. Next is past progressive, means past continuous. The verbs, the helping verbs which are used here in past progressives are was and were, but that changes into had been plus verb first plus ing. Please take care, was, were changes into had been plus verb first plus ing. The next one is future tense, when will or shall of future changes into would and should everywhere, whatever the format is. Now one very important rule which students generally forget while changing: if the direct speech expresses a historical fact, if the direct speech means the within the commas, whatever the sentence is, if that expresses a historical fact, universal truth or a habitual fact, then the tense of direct speech will not change. And with this, one more rule is there that you have to learn: if reported verb is in present or future, means if the reported verb is having says, say, will say, etc., means if the reported verb is in present or in future tense, right, then also the tense of direct speech will not change. So these two are very important rules while changing the reported speech. You have to note these down and please take care of these which generally the students forget. Okay, so this rule and this rule are very important. Just have a quick reading of this. Verb first or verb first plus s or es changes into verb second. Is mr changes into was were. Has or have plus verb third changes into had plus verb third. Verb second changes into had plus verb third. Was were changes into had been plus verb first plus ing. Will changes into would. Shall changes into should. And if the direct speech expresses a historical fact, right? Direct speech I am talking here. If the direct speech expresses a historical fact, universal truth or a habitual fact, then the tense of the direct speech will not change. And here also, if the reporting verb is in present tense or in future tense, right? The reporting verb is which is outside the commas, like he says, he will say, like this. So that the tense in the means whatever the reported speech, that is not going to change here. So please take a screenshot of this and note down in your notebooks. So students, these were some of the very important rules which are required when you have to change direct speech into indirect speech. In the next video, we will do some of the examples of this with the question, the type of the question which generally comes in your exam. Thank you very much. Till then, learn.